Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online. Welcome back also to sisi, the test server for EVE Online, where we're going to try a Warzone extraction site for the first time. So of course, as always, a bit of a disclaimer, this is the test server. And while we're very close to actual deployment here, this is still subject to change. By the time this video will be uploaded, we will probably be starting out with the event anyway. So I'm hoping that this will give you guys a bit of an idea of what you can expect in the Warzone extraction and what it's gonna take to run, because it's not been very easy. So there is a lull in the fighting. Search the drifter wrecks in the next area. If you find any trinary relics, doesn't matter what state they are in, bring them back to me. I'll make sure the agency hears about that. And so on warping, we can see right next to us here is the quartermaster. I can add mission container to the overview if I want to, and he wants us to find a sleeper relic. So we're gonna go in the site. There are several wrecks which may contain relics the quartermaster mentioned. Find one of them and bring it back to the quartermaster. So that's what we're gonna try to do. Let's hope it works out. And I'm actually going to be running this in a sacrilege, you know, decently well tanked and 400 DPS around there. So as we enter the site, what do we see? We see a station. All these are actually large collidable objects. I'm not going to add those to the overview, but we see a station, and then we see an alpha wreck. Let's go take a quick look at that one. Let's actually also approach it and do this in order. So here is an alpha wreck. It's a sleeper battleship that has been destroyed. Let's also start some of our modules here. Here is, for instance, wreck echo, and what you actually have to do is you just have to approach the wreck and see what happens. So let's approach wreck alpha. It's at 16 kilometers, and let's see if anything pops up as we do this. And I think you can also approach the station. It just hasn't triggered anything for me so far, but we are approaching, and then I think once we get within 2,500 meters, you notice a container nearby. Okay, strange. This is the second time that I've got a container on the alpha wreck. And here we go. We've got the corrupted trinary, which is actually the item that that the quartermaster wants. Next up, we'll move towards Echo, since that one is disclosed. Then we'll go Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Charlie. Or we could try doing them in order. Maybe that's could do something to the site. I'm not exactly sure, of course. Who knows what the actual hidden mechanics are here. But all right, we'll approach Bravo first. Then we'll do Charlie. Then we'll do Delta. And then finally we'll do Echo and the station. So moving on to wreck Bravo. We already have the objective. I could take the gate back and bring this to the quartermaster, I believe. But who knows? Maybe there are other hidden treasures here, so let's approach that wreck. 3,000 meters, 2,500 meters. There we go, sleeper spawn, and it's a doozy. I gotta tell you guys, you're gonna encounter battleships and things like that, so it's gonna be quite interesting. Also, very important to note here, warp disruption is part of the game as well, so you're gonna want to make sure that you take that rat out first. So it's the preserver and a safeguard that's actually going after me. And yeah, you can tell, I think it's some serious DPS, neuting, webbing, everything is here. Luckily, so far, in my experience, the incoming damage has been, let's say, manageable. I could actually keep the repping off and just show that to you guys here for now. So that's also another frigate down. Next up we'll go after the warden, and I wonder if there's something that I'm still missing. That's remove. So who is still doing this? The safeguard, sentinel apport. Whoa, it's actually a battleship now. That is that is quite interesting. It's actually a battleship that is scramming me. So we will have to take care of that, and I haven't encountered this type of battleship yet, so we'll see if my 400 DPS can actually get on top of that. But first of all, we'll take care of the mediums here as well. And you can see, even without the repping, this is tankable, right? The damage on my cruiser is definitely doable. Which way do I go? Well, I'll actually because my range is 42 kilometers, I'll actually start approaching the safeguard here to stay in range of the battleships. And they are nuding me out. Now the scram is gone. So for some reason the safeguard is giving me the option to let go. But if I come closer, there we go, the scram is back on here. Quite interesting. They're tough little sleepers, that has to be said. But so far here, that sentinel is also slowly going down from my Caldari Navy Vespas and then my, my missiles as well. So I feel like we're doing okay. The one worry that you might have at this point is of course that I am capped out, and so I can't really do a lot when it comes to repping. And yeah, it's just the sentinel and the safeguard, and holy crap. So a safeguard is gonna be decently challenging because that one nudes, webs and scrams, whereas this guy only webs, and then this guy mainly nudes, I think. The upholder. That's quite interesting. So a safeguard might just be the toughest strat that you're gonna encounter here. Let's hope that I can actually take him on. We're gonna test that after this sentinel dies. So if you've never fought sleepers, of course they only have armor and structure. So it's basically one layer that you need to take care of. And oh man, yeah, the damage is still incoming. I'm going to turn around a little bit. To see if maybe we can coast back to a safer distance, and then let's see if there's anything that I can do against that safeguard. So we are doing some damage to it, but I must say this is quite slow. It's at 97% armor, and yeah, scrammed, webbed, nuded. This is gonna be interesting. 95%. So far, I've basically not seen them do any repping, but he wants to hold me here. So there we go, 90% armor, and now starts the long slug against, I think what's gonna be like the toughest rat in these Warzone extraction sites so far. So, running out of those missiles, he's putting the web back on, yep, and at 20 kilometers, he still has me scrammed as well. And I have to keep in mind that my range here is only 42 kilometers. So what's he at now? 87% structure. What's really important here, I think, that basically they don't rep. So as long as you can tank it, delay it long enough, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be able to blow those guys up. But if we see repping here all of a sudden, then we're gonna be in a lot more trouble. But this is seemingly okay. I'm actually going to go after the upholder so that we can take him on after this, because he's clearly trying to gain a lot of distance for me. And again here, the scram is off, so I could potentially warp out if I want. But I'm actually going to try and get rid of this guy. Nuding wise, the upholder I think does 100 gigajoules. And yeah, the safeguard 200 gigajoules. He's basically the tough guy here in this site. He's also staying like at 20 kilometers from me, which is alright. I can keep applying my DPS. 70%. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some doing. But you want that tank as well to be able to take on the initial incoming damage. At this point, I mean, they're not doing all that much to me. I'm hoping that I can basically kill him before they come to the end of my structure. I'm at 59 and he's now at 65, so he's dropping way faster than I am. But it's gonna be an interesting test. And if you're curious about the stats, right, I have 392 DPS, so not all that much, and my resistances are basically my weakest is 76%, which is not so bad. So I've got some 1600mm steel as well for extra HP, energized adaptive, reactive armor hardener, just to up the holes. And yeah, there we go. These are the stats that I'm running this in. Might be helpful. And here we go. While I am dropping as well, 55%. So is he at 53%. So we are going to win this race normally. And he's not repping. Okay, important to know, of course. At least not in this iteration on sisi. Who knows what they're gonna put up on TQ. And then after that we still have to go to Charlie, which is yeah, decently far away. But we'll see if we can do it or not. At least he's dropping below 50%. 10 more missiles here. I'm still completely capped out, but he's also losing the scram here and there. So you've got this out if you're up against the Eosian safeguards. And then that guy is staying at 29 kilometers. I wonder if he's going to orbit at that range, because now he's still trying to pull away from me. So it's actually, I think, the right choice to go after him, because I do want to destroy him. But already also 10 minutes in, not much that I can do here, except to report that this will be a site that'll take a little bit longer if you're up against sleepers than other sites that we've seen before. So now we actually let go of the web a little bit. If he would stop neuting, then maybe I'd be able to rep a little bit. But yeah, and now they're actually also going to take out my my resistance, but he's slowly dropping at 28%. Oh no, don't fire him at there. We need to fire him over here. There we go. So that guy now has 96%. Yeah, these upholders will go down more quickly than the safeguards. That's basically the tough guy of these sites. 24%. Come on, come on. Definitely need to kill him. Anything else that I could do at this point? No, basically I'm definitely coasting away from the site. And if you're doing this in low sec or wormhole space or something like that, someone drops on you, you could be in a lot of trouble. That's my armor at 40%, but his is going down way faster. And normally without his neuting, I'll get some cap back and I'll be able to rep back out of this. So let's start heading back in the site. I'm just hoping that this guy doesn't pull back out of my missile range. But even if he does, you can see here he's still at 96%. So basically they're big damage sponges that are not going to rep. But that just takes some time. You've got to apply the damage in order to get rid of these battleships. He's down to 8%. And my armor is not looking too healthy either. But let's go and take a look at his. Yeah, he's getting chewed through. And there is an effect here, but I think it's basically maybe like resistances or something like that he's running. Or it could also be his point that's going towards me. Not exactly sure. And yeah, the upholder here pulling away out of range, which is not so great. So let's try to turn around again. Now he's in structure. So keep firing. Okay. Eosian safeguards. Quite a bit of HP. Come on, just a bit more. We're down to 25%. Completely neutered out. Not much I can do, but it's the 200 gigajoules that do it, and I think it's gonna be the safeguard. So he blows up. That's good. We are now gonna get started on the upholder. And it's a little delayed. That's probably just the effect remaining, but there she blows. And then this guy, yeah, he takes more damage. The safeguard is definitely the most powerful one. Here's the neuting, just that's all the upholder does. And then let's take a quick look at the numbers here. It's just the 100 gigajoules, which means that I can now start my repping and back up. So this actually apparently is going to handle a site. I suspect this is close to the toughest spawn that you'll get. So let's quickly get rid of the upholder as well. Although we'll need a reload. How many missiles have I... That's 400 missiles. Or maybe 500 missiles that I've already fired here. Yeah, you'll want enough munitions to be able to keep going. Keep that in mind. As the explosions ring loud and we reload. Alright, this battleship does go down quite a bit more quickly. So let's fire off some extra volleys and then let's head towards Charlie. Yeah, Charlie right there. Alright, 80 kilometers, gonna take a bit more doing. But I can rep back in the meantime, and then when he's down, we'll micro drive, of course. So I survived your onslaught. You sleeper scum. This is actually one of the coolest designs, I think, for the sleeper drones. Just look at it. Looks absolutely awesome. And I'm slowly getting this guy down. I'm really not sure if this is the right thing to do. Obviously, I would have taken this guy out and his DPS out quite a bit more quickly. I would probably have been in a better position as well, because he's basically pulled me out of the side by quite a bit. But on the other hand, the 200 gigajoules, you see, this is just with 100 gigajoules, is still nuding me out. And so the safeguard was going to keep nuding me out the whole time. I would have been in more trouble, I think, if I had taken the time to destroy this guy before. That's a pretty cool shot. So I think I would have been in a tougher position if I would have tried to go after this guy first before going after the safeguards. So I think it's actually the right order. Get rid of the small stuff, that's going to be pretty fast, but then take out that safeguard because he nudes too much. So on we go. Let's take a look at what's happening around Charlie, which is now fast approaching, so that's good. We'll do a quick reload as well, of course. And I think a Tech 3 ship will, a Tech 3 cruiser will have a much easier time of all of this. But this is probably close to the edge. You don't want a lot less DPS than the 400 that I've got here. And you definitely don't want a lower tank than this. Now, here is Charlie. So we just approached that and nothing happened. That can happen as well. Next up is Delta. Then we've got Echo. And then finally we'll go after the station and see if anything else happens here. But I think this already gives you a bit of an idea on what to do in the site. To just approach all of these wrecks. The corrupt trinary relic can drop on from a container, but some other wrecks will actually spawn sleepers that will be pretty tough. Next up here, Delta. Let's see what happens. In range, that does nothing. All right. And then we still have Echo left, which is over here. The safeguard wreck, I could go after that, but I already saw from a previous site, it's normally a regular sleeper loot that you'll get from that. And while I'm testing out my cap, we are fully repping though. So Echo, do you have anything in store for me? So far we have the relic and we had one spawn. In a previous site I had the relic and 2 sleeper spawns. That's been the pattern so far. So let's see what happens here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 kilometers. Again, nothing. And then we'll go after the station. If there's nothing here, then that does indicate that potentially there are pretty major differences between the sites, because also in the one where I had the 2 sleeper spawns, I didn't have a safeguard. I had one with 2 of the other battleships and a similar setup there, a couple cruisers, couple frigates, and then I had an easier spawn, just a couple battleships and like 3 frigates or something like that. So it seems to be random. And I hope that this will actually have been like the tougher or the toughest spawn that you can get. Next up here, it's actually a sleeper station. You can see that from this pattern. And this unfortunately doesn't trigger anything either. So we can head back for the gate, and then I'll show you guys how you enter the corrupted trinary. And then we'll normally get the message that he'll talk to the agency for us. So off we go towards the acceleration gate. Although the beacon is still there, so I think you could, from inside the sites, unless it's because I'm warping, I wonder if I could just warp to it from anywhere. We'll take a look at that. Maybe we'll quickly go into the next site and see if that's an option. But yeah, this will have been, as we take the gate, a first look at the Warzone extraction sites that should be part of the new event, the new agency event, which is of course also tied to the expansion for Valkyrie. So here's the quartermaster at 6 kilometers. You just open up his container. So you can just do that right off the bat, right? Open cargo. No need to overshoot too much. This opens up. You put the trinary in there and you get the message in local. Not bad, I can use this. Thank you. I will let the agency know. So I will quickly go to the other side here at 8.8 AU. We'll just jump in and then see if I can just straight warp back to the beacon, or if you have to take the gate to warp back to the beacon, because that would basically cut a lot of your time out. Although if you're doing a full round of all of the wrecks and the station, then you pretty much come full circle back on the gate. So again, same message, of course. There's a lot in the fighting, and the quartermaster is looking for the relics. And is he in the same ship? Yeah, looks like it. So we're gonna take these gates. Several wrecks once again. Maybe we'll go for Alpha, just to see if that's like a pattern, that Alpha drops the relic. Although it probably isn't going to be. So here we go again. Very same thing. You've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wrecks and the station. Alpha on the right. Approach it full speed. And then can I just yeah, I can actually just right click and warp to the extraction site. So let's see if we're lucky. Let's see if this will actually give me that relic right off the bat again. So here comes the Alpha. Oh, no, this time, look at that, it's different. Incoming sleepers. All right, interesting. What are we talking about here? Let's take a look. Let's launch some drones. Medium, 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 and a couple small ones. So this is definitely a smaller spawn, but still pretty interesting. Again, neuting, webbing, and scramming. Oh, and actually repping. Holy crap, I hadn't seen that before. But the preserver was actually doing some repping as well. Okay, let's hope you never encounter a battleship that reps, because that's gonna become a bit more of a problem. So next up here we've got the preserver. Yeah, he's being repped somehow. Let's hope that I can kill it. There we go. Next one. Who is scramming me? A preserver. Who is neuting me? The preservers as well. And then the webs are also from preservers. Warden, Sentinel, Warden. Right. Well, luckily with my kinds of resistances, as you can tell right here, it's quite a bit different. I'm not taking that much damage. And they're cruisers or frigates. And so the neuting is only 10 gigajoules. So I've got my cap available if I want it. So, but yeah, there's some repping happening. I wonder if I'm gonna be able to get a visual, if it's a local rep or if it's someone else. Or yeah, he's getting the reps. No, yeah. Actually, there he is. Yeah, he's getting the reps from the Warden. That's cool. I'm having a tough time breaking this guy. Look at, oh my god, this is cool. If these are like the new NPCs, and that they actually like sometimes use buffer tanks, which we saw in the first site, and then sometimes they use like a rep, like a spider tank. That makes it pretty damn cool. Let's see if I can actually break this guy. Okay, very interesting. Let's this time not do them in order. Alpha, the closest one is Echo over here. So let's slowly head in that direction. But yeah, the cap warfare is much lower than previously. As a result, we're definitely fine here, able to tank all of this without too much trouble. And then let's see if there's repping happening here. I think I do see the beam. But he's in structure now. Yeah, he's getting a bit of repping. It's just not all that efficient. So that one goes down. Next up, we get the Warden. Or the other Warden. And now I'm only wept by the Sentinel. So that's all the E-War. Okay, Wardens, remote rep. Those might be in the mix as well. Very good to know. Then, let's see. Let's try to get to this one. Let's hope it's not a sleeper spawn. But even if it is, it's not like there's that much left. This guy shouldn't be getting any reps anymore. He's actually trying to run away from me as... Oh, he's doing something. There's an animation towards me. Not sure. Oh, is he also webbing me? No, that's only the Sentinel. Okay, that's a little bit weird. Not sure what that animation is, but he blows up nicely. I can start firing at you. Goodbye. Camera comes back to me. And we are in range of... Oh, incoming sleepers again? Holy hell. Alright, let's keep going. Since that's what the server is throwing at me, we're gonna keep going. Let's see what we should prioritize this time. Preserver? Why the hell not? Let's go after this guy here first. This time we've got... Alright, a smaller spawn. And a couple of those annoying battleships. So let's move on to the next wreck in the meantime, because that should be it. Next up we've got Bravo. Let's see if we can do this. Now the new thing is gonna be a little bit heavier. That could become a bit more of a problem. But we'll see if we can handle it. Just on buffer alone. And we'll just do this in order. Small stuff first. Yeah, cap is empty. Now the buffer has to do it. Okay, you're next. Luckily, I took the remote reps off. If you would have both the spawns combined, you might just be in trouble. But this one is, so far, it's actually okay. And this guy has been pretty much as tough as one of these battleships, I think. So let's see if we can take you on. Although it would be nice to get rid of the webs. I do want to see what kind of damage we're doing here. 95, one volley. 90, another volley. So something like 20 to 30 shots is to be expected. Yeah, 4 to 5% per shot. So let's keep this going. But those guys, the new thing... Let's take a look at it. So from both the upholders, 100 gigajoules, 100 gigajoules. They're gonna keep me dry. Not much that I can do about that. And so if I kill them, at least one of them, I can start repping, so I'll be okay. Then we'll kill the Sentinel and we'll see if we can find the relic, basically. So just keep going. Might try to keep this running for a bit of... Does it increase DPS? I don't think so, the guidance system. But yeah, this one is dying quite alright here. 38%, 16 shots left. These are doable battleships, even in something like a Tick 2 cruiser like this. At this point, maybe some of you guys will be wondering about the fit, so as this is gonna still take a little bit of time, I'll quickly go over this. So we've got heavy missile launchers with Mjolnir precision. I just grabbed some stuff. Sensor booster, you can probably do something better with that. Maybe probably cap, another cap charge is probably gonna make more sense. Missile guidance system. Missile guidance computer 2. We've got a cap recharger, a micro drive, then 16mm steel plate 2, energized adaptive, reactive armor hardener, ballistic control system, that's for more DPS of course, and an armor rep 2. And then we've got one medium bay loading accelerator for more DPS and a auxiliary nano pump for a better tank again. So now this first one dies. We're gonna go after the Sentinel next, who goes from, let's take a look here, 73% to 70% on the shot. He actually has better resistance than these battleships? Well, here it's 4%. It's pretty similar in my experience here so far. So getting rid of the web will make sense as we slowly approach Bravo again? No, that doesn't make sense. We're not supposed to approach Bravo. Or are we? Yeah, actually Echo, Bravo, yeah, it's true. We didn't go the alphabetical route this time. So I can start wrapping a bit. Resistance is up. Go like this. And we are in range. Incoming sleepers. Third wave. How nice. Alright guys, not what I was expecting on this one. We have got a Warden. I think that's gotta die first. No matter what else I do, I'm gonna have to take care of the remote reps here. So let's start with that. Yeah, not what I expected, but let's keep going then. We've got Charlie next, I think. So we've got this one. Oh no, actually it's gonna be Delta. Cap is nuded out. That's not very nice. So we'll need to have our buffer handle the rest. And it's another Warden here. Okay. There you go, showing off that it's gonna be quite different from side to side apparently. Come on, kill the Warden. Then I can target the next one. We'll quickly kill the frigates. Ah, he gets reps again. Go, 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 because you can see that I'm slowly dropping. Where is the rest of the nude pressure coming from? An upholder. No, an upholder and what else? Preserver. Alright, the small guy. That shouldn't be too much trouble. Okay, go, go, go. Alright, that was destroyed decently well. You're next. And then that guy's, I think, also is at 50%. Not sure if this guy's gonna get reps as well. Next up, the Warden, of course, just to make sure. Now the nude pressure should be lower. Once again, we'll make it. It's gonna be a slug here. It's gonna actually end up being quite a longer video, but I think it's pretty nice. It shows you guys a little bit of what you can expect in these sites. And it's not gonna be like cookie cutter stuff like most of the other ones, which I think is a very good sign. It does show that CCP is working hard on getting some cool stuff our way. So that should be the Warden blowing up any moment now. Yeah, then let's see if we can take care of that Sentinel there finally as we approach the second to last wreck. Let's add some resistances. And I'm running out of missiles, so I'm going to need to use my Fury Heavies next.
The capacitor is empty.
Okay, noted. Just keep going. Yeah, with that cap pressure, I think again, missiles, drones, that's gonna make a lot of sense because those aren't cap dependent. Something like a laser boat could end up in trouble quite quickly. So here again, stuff like the Gila, stuff like the this one, Sacrilege. If you are going to use a Tech 3 cruiser, probably want this combination. So Legion, possibly pretty good. You also have the drone, the drone Galente one, which will probably work. But keep it in mind. Lots of nuting. Most of the time I'm actually spending it without any cap. So that should give me a bit more speed once again as we slowly approach Delta.
A module has run
Yeah,
out of
just
charges.
start going with the heavy missiles. And then I wonder if we'll get a fourth spawn. And then maybe it's gonna be on the station. So, next up. 81. To 77. Yeah, alright. Yep, he's got strong resistances. Not much to say here. One thing to note. Okay, nope. No, it's actually alright. But the upholder here is now at 70 kilometers, right? So this guy has actually just gotten out of range with his newts apparently. So I can speed this up. This is pretty weird behavior. Doesn't make all too much sense, but maybe if you can basically like tank it out, you can just leave these upholders do their stuff and they'll just ghost out of range, and they may not be that big of a problem. Giving you the opportunity to stay focused on the side basically. When you saw me doing the first one, it's to make sure that I was in range so I could keep damaging it. That may be the wrong choice. The right tactic might actually be just go for the next wreck, see what you can spot there, and yeah, keep focused on your objective rather than going after these sleepers that run away from you. So this one didn't trigger anything. Okay, you notice a container near wreck. Where? What the hell? Did I miss something? I apparently missed something. That's interesting. Oh, near the station wreck. There we go. Alright. Okay, I didn't see that message, but apparently that can be triggered off of another wreck as well. Good to know. Maybe it's when you trigger all potential sleepers. So we'll check on that by going after Charlie first, and I will grab right here, compromised stasis vault. As this sentinel, he's been doing work, but he finally dies. Goodbye, sleeper sentinel. One final shot in my direction as he blows up. And then we are on the wreck that doesn't trigger anything. And so we can go for the stasis vault next. Do a quick reload, recall my guys. Because apparently this upholder, he doesn't care too much about what I'm doing. Maybe he's glitched out or something like that. He's not even hitting me, I think. Yeah, actually he's hitting me for 8 damage. Nothing too worrying. And then what have we got in here? Another corrupted trinary. Actually have to be in range, so I overshot. God damn it. Loot all. There we go. And what you can do is you can at any point, especially if
Phenomena are disrupting the ship.
What? Oh. Well, you can't. Alright, so I have to take the gate. There we go. Okay, so you do get the message. You can right click warp within 0, but you can't because you're in the site. Alright, important to know as well. So before you actually run this site, make sure that you are actually, now that he's stopping, he's shooting at me. Let's try that again.
Cannot warp there
No.
because natural phenomena are disrupting the ship.
Interesting. Oh, stop. Can I still stop? Yeah, alright. Because now I do wonder if I can, for instance, go for planet 1. Yeah. Okay, alright. I'm gonna risk this just for the information. I'm forced to warp off, so the sleepers got the better of me. I need to warp off to a planet. Can I then still grab the Warzone extraction site because I've got the corrupted trinary? Or will it despawn as I get out of here? Actually important to know. So let's give that a go. We are out of here. And it's still selected. Let's see what happens next. Okay, it's still here, so let's warp to it. Let's see where it puts me. Warp within 0.
Warp drive active.
So that would be a little weird. If this does just work, then they should just basically maybe get rid of the gate, or just allow you to warp straight to it, because I mean, if I want to run this as efficiently as possible, I'm just gonna grab the relic. As soon as I find it, I'm warping off to a celestial, and then I'm bouncing back into the Warzone extraction site. Maybe there's like this slight risk, but that the site despawns. But yeah, he's definitely still here. Let's see if I can open him up. Too far away, I know. And then the final thing that I'm actually curious about is if I could enter this in another quartermasters. Yeah, so I could definitely enter this here. So we're going to risk this. I hope that you guys have the patience to still be around, but I think it could be interesting to know if you can bring in this corrupt trinary in another quartermaster. So we're quickly gonna do a couple jumps, hope that we can find a site quickly, and see if we can bring in this corrupt trinary. So my first impressions on all of this, quite interesting. It's definitely different, more engaging. It's gonna take a little bit more time, and not specifically aimed at alpha clones, to be honest. I mean, they can gamble in a very small fast ship that what they take is gonna be the trinary, like the first wreck is gonna be the right one, but some of these spawns, yeah, not gonna be that easy. And so maybe a first step towards getting people to try to work together to complete these sites. It's definitely possible. So obviously this is a test server, so sometimes it takes a little bit longer. There we go. And yes, Warzone extraction site. Awesome. We'll be able to test this out as well. Very, very, very nice though. I'm hoping that this is going to be useful. But yeah, we're pretty close to the actual deployment, so I don't think that there's going to be massive changes to the sites. But keep in mind, it's always possible. And so if you want an idea what's going to be close to your minimum, you're going to want something like 400 to 450 DPS, and you're going to want your resistances up in like the 70s. And have some HP. How much armor HP do I have? You can see that I managed to tank that toughest strat for quite a while on 8000 armor HP, 8800 to be precise. So there we go, another site, another quartermaster. It's probably the same one, or meant to be the same one, I'm not sure. But let's see if we can just open this guy up and put this trinary in there. Yes. Not bad, I can use this. Okay. If I open this up. Item is not yours to take. Alright, for a moment there I thought maybe I would just be able to repeat this over and over, but luckily that doesn't work. And yep, there you go guys, that's gonna be it for this video. A look at these sites coming to TQ right now actually. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
Warp drive active.